Jessica Tarlov is the wrongest person in all of news media. And that's saying a lot. I'm John Mike Keene.
Trump says anything he doesn't like is election interference.
Democrats say everything they don't like is insurrection. That was easy.
That's his favorite thing to say. And I think this is largely baked in. People who think that he's a victim of the justice system and lawfare believe that.
It is actually a fact that he is being persecuted by our justice system. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. Now you can say, Doug, why would your opinion be? All I do is look at how the Democrats are changing laws, changing precedent, changing tradition to do what they do. That's the only evidence I have, but it's there.
People think that the American people have a right for him to have his day in court and to also see the evidence presented and to have people rule on that before an election where they have to give him the most important job in the world again, feel that way about it.
Feel that way about it is correct. But feelings are what how the Democrats think.
My understanding from reading the coverage from back in March, so he was in a Florida courtroom, and Jack Smith's team were down there, and they explained that the 60-day rule or the 90-day rule doesn't apply when someone is already in the hands of the justice system, when they've already been charged. And Donald Trump has already been charged.
The rules apply until, that you don't prosecute someone 69 days before an election. They go, but because the 60-day rule, they go, but, given how important the election is, we're going to do it to Trump.
Why they're saying that this is a, quote, slick move is because Jack Smith basically headed off what he knew would be coming if Judge Chutkan ruled on this again or said something. He went back, he kind of trimmed the fat off of the indictment based on the SCOTUS ruling, which you guys all thought was so great. So he took that under consideration and he brought these same 4 charges again, but with it slimmed down and changing the language all over. So instead of talking about Donald Trump as president, he talks about Donald Trump as a candidate.
He made all the changes so he could get this thing going before the election because this is election interference. That was easy. It's still election interference. The closer you get to election day, Jack Smith can't do a bloated case. He has to pare it down to get it in before the election, Jessica.
For president in 2020, Mike Pence isn't the VP anymore. He is the president of the Senate. And you're right, that new grand jury looked at it and they said, hell yeah, all 4 of those charges make sense. He should go to trial for this. He's going to be charged.
This makes sense because they were all Democrats. And then no matter what Jack Smith gave to the grand jury, because they were 100% Democrats, they all said, yes, this makes sense once again. So her saying a grand jury agrees with this is no credit to what they're doing. It's just more now, if it was a grand jury full of Republicans, that'd be different, but it's not. So it's the same.
It is not election interference.
I'd love to hear her reasons why it's not. She won't give you any reasons.
It is a continuation of this case.
It's not a continuation. It's brand new. They put in new language. They're going with a new strategy. It's new.
And it does not violate the 60-day rule or the 90-day rule.
Look, I don't think we should be surprised. Think about everything that's been thrown at Trump, okay? You've had petitions, you've had lawfare, you've had a nonviolent coup. There's something new. You've had nonstop media collusion. You had a cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive failure. You had, 7-8 years of calling Trump Hitler and stating rather clearly that he must be stopped and you must do everything possible to stop him. I wonder if that contributed to him getting...
Biden himself said, put a target on him.
So when you step back, you got to wonder why. It is emotional. They're not talking about any policy, no facts, just a tornado of terrified emotion.
Well, it's about, are you a rebel or a conformist? And the left and the artists have all become conformists. That's why they agree with big tech, Hollywood, public schools, your hippie dad. It's not about against your conservative dad. Now it's you conform to your hippie dad and do what he says and oppress the quote unquote nerds who are the Christians and the conservatives.
There's this new petition. Do you see this of Republican staffers? They've endorsed Harris. How spontaneous is that? It's just like the 51 intel agents. Who planned that one?
Yeah, we already showed the video of Liz Cheney endorsing Harris. These are not real Republicans, guys. David French, not a real Republican.
But it's the status quo. Once again, fear the one man who won't stop. And he doesn't care.
That's what they hate about Trump the most, is that they can't get to him and he doesn't care.
If you're truly radical out there, if you're an honest to God rebel, okay, how could you not be in favor of Trump? They tried to arrest him. They tried to sue him. They tried to shoot and kill him. They changed laws to destroy him. They changed the way we voted to keep him from winning. They shamed, they targeted, they doxed, they hoaxed supporters. I mean, this is a moment you got to ask yourself, are you going to join the pirate ship or the pontoon of pansies?
You really think he didn't do any of the things?
Guys, I really want to do my
They see all these coincidences and go, no, he actually really was that bad because they're zombies and they can't think for themselves. I'm John Mike Keene.